I literally had 2 franchises on TV. And they stopped paying me. I lost my house. I'm watching y'all do. And then I see you do the season, and I was like,
I called Mo.
But you know this. You know I called you, but it was in the paper. It was in the blogs. It didn't come from me. Everybody was talking about it. People were ripping me to shreds about this lawsuit the minute it was filed, and nobody picked up the phone. And I remember calling you. I remember this like it was yesterday. I remember calling you before season 3, because in my spirit, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna be a producer on season 3. I'm gonna put my producer hat on. I'm not gonna be on camera. People hate me anyway, it don't matter. And I remember I called you and I was like, Mo, for season 3, or maybe it was season 2, I was like, how do you feel about, y'all should get married, because we talked about you getting married. Y'all should get married on the show. You was like, I don't know, you know how Rez is, she a Libra, let me talk to her. You had a wedding on the show and I didn't even get an invitation.
Yes, you did.
I did not.
I called you. Yes, don't do that.
When did I get an invitation?
Girl, I called you and Faith on the same day and I asked y'all, were y'all gonna be able to come? And you told me no.
No.
And my heart broke.
I never talked to you about...
Yeah, you did. Rez was sitting right there. I was in the passenger seat of our car. I reached out to you. I didn't know it was like you losing. I didn't know you weren't getting paid. I didn't know the severity of what was happening. I thought you were just protecting yourself, like, and you just would whatever you were feeling, and it was all white people, Adam, and all of them. I know that they did some bullshit, because I told them when they tried that shit with Brandy and Kiki at the Cavado shit, I was like, that was fucked up. And if you had tried it with my family, I'd have punched you in the face. Y'all don't have to do anything like that. First of all, that's her child. And I was like, we're 5 women that are strong personalities and have shit going on. You don't have to make nothing up. There's no reason for you to do that. You understand what I'm saying? I understood that what they tried. I was just like, I said, well, if they're clear about what they aren't supposed to do and with you, I was just a cast member though. I'm not in the way like you were. This is your baby. And you were in the way. You were getting you had a whole nother set of stressors and responsibilities that I know you were navigating and didn't understand. And I'm trying to figure out why you're not talking to me. And I felt left out. And when I say left out, I mean abandoned, shut down from early. It started early.
Like you said, you were aware of certain things. Like, like, how dare you? Like, that's sexual misconduct to ask my daughter to do something as disrespectful as you asked.
That was crazy.
And everybody was aware of that.
Yes.
And it was just very like,
nobody
ever came to me to check and be like, are you okay? Nobody ever one time except Faith.
Okay.
And honestly, Kiki.
Okay.
I didn't get it from you. I didn't get it from Selena.
Around that time? No.
I never got a "Are you okay?
Is
everything okay?"
You had to at some point.
I remember those moments, but I still don't understand, and I still have to ask, what was it that made you react that way when Wendy asked you? Because when Wendy asked you if you missed me and you responded the way you did, I was like, what?
That was her, actually. I didn't want to.
Everybody already hated me enough.
I wasn't trying to make nobody hate you, like.
No, but you did, because I distinctly remember going to social media and seeing people say, well, now she done pissed off Mo. Well, if she did something dirty to Mo, she ain't shit. Because you were one of the most beloved divas on the show, because you were so light and because you were so, let's just stay neutral and do it positively. For Selena to say she misses me, and for Kiki to say and even Kiki responded like, what do you mean?
I didn't say anything.
But it made it look like I did something.
That wasn't my intention. My intention was just not to say anything, because I was angry. I was angry. I was angry. I was angry and I was hurt. I was more hurt than angry, because I really wasn't angry. I was like, where the fuck is my friend? And why is she not talking to me? Why is she acting an ass? Like, I felt like all of the situation with it was just a lot, Nikki. You became somebody different. Now that I'm here, you're telling me, I can understand why, but you still weren't talking to me. And when I felt like when I tried, it was like, no. And you weren't giving me this information. Because you could have trusted me with this information.
That is the issue.
You didn't feel like you could.
I did not feel like I could trust you with the information, because I felt like, well, when I walked in and I saw you sitting with my arch nemesis.
Really? Arch nemesis? This is what we doing?
Thornton.
I did not. Oh,
And,
the last time.
and it was very clear
Your arch.
based on the mess of it all is what I'm saying.
Okay, so
And the manipulation of it all. And we knew that there was manipulation happening. We knew because we talked about it.
I'm thinking production. I'm watching out for production and just making sure like they don't have me in no trick bag. I feel all of this was
No, it was a direct
within us.
attack on me.
Right.
But what I'm saying is no one else was being attacked.
The way you were
But
showing
you're
up.
saying I'm not showing up for you. But I mean, I'm
Not
showing up to
for
do
me,
the
but
work.
I know, but you were going through all this stuff. It was coming out as this.
What happened with us is the disconnect between us personally, as far as our friendship is concerned goes, happened when I realized that you were becoming very close to someone that I had a lot of issues with.
Okay.
And it's impossible for me to trust you,
You know me.
if this person does not like me. And this person uses every opportunity that she and her sister and Phil and everybody who's on that side.
I didn't see it that way.
To say that I'm like trying to do some scam with a charity event, I'm like, is this what we're doing? Like, everybody knows the Center for Black Women's Wellness is a well-established organization. They've been around for years. Everybody knows these women deserve the opportunity to be treated nicely and to have great things happen. So to set me up and have Cole sit down, which you weren't even a part of the conversation she had with Angie, Latasha, and Rocky, where they were like, yeah, she's scamming, or sound like a scam to me, and they're eating me up.
It's not for kids, it's for women.
Also, it's a prom for women.
You gonna stick on prom? You gonna hold on prom? Yeah, he's holding on to that. I don't like where it's headed.
I think it's headed straight.
Say it.
What? To Chuck E. Cheese.
Stop it.
Is this a high school event or what?
High school don't even do Chuck E. Cheese.
A damn grammar school. No, I'm trying to figure out what's going on. You want to do a concert in a prom hall for women with real artists who sold millions of records. Is Barney gonna be there?
Oh, but I heard SpongeBob was making It's very sneaky to throw a charity in to get us all to come sing in a show together and for free. Very sneaky, sister. And it's also something that's very fraudulent.
Or there are people that have been through the same thing with you. It can help you get through it. And you can help others get through it.
And you're friends with this person, I'm not gonna go and be like, hey Mo, Selena and them eating me up, calling me a scammer and saying my charity event is this and that and the third, because you are friends with this person. So as long as I show up and do my work, I don't, and I honestly was looking for you to do a check-in, and I never felt it. I felt it from Faith, I felt it from Kiki.
I know her. And I know that the things that you said is some stuff that she just
But let me tell you
wouldn't
something.
do.
Y'all can poke holes at me all night about a decision
it ain't even about
that I will stand by until I close my eyes.
When it comes to someone that I love and respect, I got an issue with that.
I felt it from people behind the scenes. I felt like Mo was focused on Mo and Therese and your friend and the next level for y'all.
Sure, and congratulations on R&B Divas Atlanta.
Yes.
How cool is that?
Awesome. We showed the world everything, our engagement and our wedding. We shared it with the world. We thought it was very necessary.
So when the Wendy Williams thing happened, and then probably the most hurtful of all, this is after the season wraps. I did an interview with Lenny. I talked even still about I'm not gonna let them fuck up our relationships that way. I love everybody involved. I wish everybody the best.
I'm sorry that things have gotten raveled and out of control with R&B Divas, but unfortunately, the lesson learned.
Lessons. And I want
learned.
to go on record and say tonight on your show, I love you, Selena Johnson. I love you, Monifah Carter. I love you, Kiki Wyatt. I love you, Angie Stone. I love you, Faith Evans. I love you, Kelly Price. Any woman associated with this brand, I love them dearly. And I know that there are great things in store. And just because it didn't work for me or Kelly or Faith or whatever, it doesn't mean that it can't work and it can't get back to what we had in season 1.
At the end of the day, Don't we want kind of someone who got to keep it real with us as opposed to giving us a flim-flam situation?
I mean, you know, and that's the thing. Like, I'm a very say it like you mean it person. And the crazy thing about our situation is we had all been friends long before. I mean, these are like 10, 15-year friendships, and we never had what we've had in the one season of R&B Divas. So I think, yeah, it'd be great to have people who tell you like it is and tell the truth. But if you misinterpreted it for whatever reason and certain things are left out and, you know, you get half sentences, then, you know, that could turn bad.
I think the OJs said in their song, "For the love of money."
See, you know what? That hit the nail on the head. And there was this era of everybody wondering what was going on with me because I wasn't on the show. But for some reason, while I'm going through all of this hell with these people, my name keeps coming up in interviews. And, well, it came up when Wendy Williams did the thing, and then it came up when you and Selena did an interview
with Lenny.
And somebody called me and was like, "Oh, you got ate up on the radio in New York." And I'm like, "Ate up on the radio by whom?" Monifah and Selena. And I was like, "Ain't no way." And they sent me the clip.
New York and Chicago. I'm from here. I'm from New York, and Selena's from Chicago. It's, you know, there's a lot of similar sensibilities there. And the bottom line is Selena, you know, Selena for me, and I think that's why we can, you know, we're like we are, and we're friends. You know, we have a bond is because we have a lot of the same sensibilities and like I think approach to things in life and the heart. And I just think we're both real folk.
Yeah, you do see a different kind of vibe between both of you. And you also see the opposing kind of situation. And I think that has surfaced on quite a few episodes of R&B Divas Atlanta, just as much as R&B Divas LA. It's now, I don't know, again, I don't know what's staged. I don't know what is real, but it's been pretty interesting. And I thought the initial concept, if I understood Nicci Gilbert to explain it to me the right way, was that the whole purpose of it was to bring some wonderful ladies of music together, all for a tour. And
that was the original purpose?
That's what I believe. All for a tour.
That's what she said when she was here.
Yeah. All for
episode 1.
But you know, she was talking about that in the first place anyway.
What do you think, Nicci? What would you think about it?
You came to me with that whole idea when we were even talking about the charity album. She told me about this like
I thought we had all kind of discussed that at some point. Season 1?
Season 1.
Oh, interesting.
I thought it was a good concept. I mean, you know, to kind of bring all the ladies to kind of and bring them out.
The bottom line is that I think personalities got in the way, manipulation. It just did. It was just a whole bunch of stuff and feeding. It was just like planting seeds of destruction. You know, maybe not on purpose initially.
And like, I expect Selena to eat me up. Selena, well, Nicci go sink the boat. Like, we didn't have any money. We lost everything. Skip was like, here I go. Skip was like, I don't like the way they painted you on the show. I'm doing a show with SWV. I know it's tight.
It's okay.
Let me put some money in your pocket. You need a vacation. So host this thing. When Lenny said, yeah, Nicci's hosting our special. You were like, Nicci, yeah, I heard that. I'm the one from New York, blah, 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 blah. Selena was like, oh, Nicci gonna sink the boat. I was like, what?
I'm preparing to go to Jamaica.
Nice.
So,
but I'm still mad about that. I'm a New York artist and I'm not on that boat ride.
Boat ride? There's not a boat ride.
Oh, whatever it is. I ain't going. I know.
Nicci's on it.
Who? Oh.
Yeah. What kind of boat ride is that? That's a sinking boat.
It's not a boat ride. It is not a boat ride. It's not a boat ride.
What kind of boat ride is that?
You said boat ride. That's like you're not even saying boat. Exactly.
What kind of boat ride?
No, it's not a boat ride. We're doing the Splash Fest in Montego Bay. It's a flight. Yes,
and we weren't invited.
Well, hold on. Don't shoot me.
If it was me, we'd be there.
Who are the people there?
Hold on.
Tell me who's the talent.
Well, it was organized by BLS. So this particular trip that's happening next week is going to have Nicci Gilbert. It's going to have actor Lance Gross. It's going to have Joe and the ladies of SWV.
Okay. Should I throw shade or no?
No. You can't throw shade.
Okay. And he said, you talked about how y'all met.
Talked about who met.
You and Selena talked about how you met. And you were like, oh, we met in Detroit. I was doing this little theater thing. And I was like, really?
That is not, what? And we were all living in this house while we were doing this play in Detroit. Right. But anyway, we would have these talks and we would drink wine and be down.
I was doing this theater thing. Like, you blew it all off. And I was like,
Nicci,
where is this?
If that was in that moment, and I'm gonna listen. I'm sorry, baby. Don't make me cry. In that moment, there was the wedding. If I had any, I'm gonna apologize for that, because that's not how I feel about you. And even when I have any other, I have never blown it off. You could go and research any fucking interviews I've done, and I always uphold you. Now, I might have been being led or petty or because of what I was feeling at the time. Was very close to when me and Rez had gotten married. And I was angry. I was feeling the way I was feeling, and we weren't talking to each other. And
well, at that point, of course not, because I just watched you and Wendy Williams throw me under the bus.
But that wasn't me throwing you under the bus.
Well,
that wasn't.
Kiki saw it that way. I saw it that way, and even Selena was like, woo.
Quite honestly, all of those motherfuckers don't have what we have.
Which is why I'm like, rewind, what did I do?
Nicci.
Anybody watching it noticed it.
Kiki was making it more, the fact that she even said something about it, I opted to not say anything. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Okay. I mean, you get that. Okay.
You left me. You didn't talk to me. You shut me out. I didn't know like that. I didn't know that it was held this way. You sitting here.
Mo, you don't read the blog?
Not like that, girl. No.
Nigga, I'm in a case today.
I know that
I'm asked in a deposition about R&B Divas and the fact that people don't like me because of this fucking show. Today, this shit is real life for me. Was not a TV show. And the fact that I created this shit with love and my fucking friends. No, you weren't there for me. And that's what I felt from you. I felt abandoned. Maybe you felt the same thing from me.
I did.
But there was never a moment where I felt like you stood up for me in the face of public scrutiny.
I felt like you lumped me in with everybody else.
Even when we weren't filming, I never got a call.
Well, life was happening, and yeah.
Yeah,
and I was like, fuck it. I did have a fuck it. Like, you know what? I tried. I did. I felt like I tried. Nicci, I feel like you knew me enough. Like, even if you guys weren't friends, I could be cool with her, and you know what I'm saying? And you just.
But it wasn't, for me, it's not even about me and
but
her
that's
being
what you
friends.
just said. You
for me,
said
it
that.
wasn't even about us being friends. It wasn't about that because, again, Selena
but
is not
me
the
to
person
know that I would never.
had you and I had a different relationship.
Right.
We've been friends through ebb and
but
flow,
I know
your
how
highs, your lows, my highs, my low. We've been on the flow together, figuring it out.
Right, for
but
sure.
I don't have that relationship with her, and neither do you.
Right.
I feel like when the opportunity came for you to decide which side of the situation you were going to be on,
you felt
because
erratic.
I looked like I was losing at the time.
It wasn't about, you felt erratic. I didn't know what you were going.
I need to hear the examples of how
you were exploding on camera.
When?
You don't remember when we was at Faith House? It was a whole.
At Faith's house.
When we was at Faith's apartment.
The situation at Faith's apartment where we were all sitting around.
It was production.
Exactly. So if you know, that's a classic example of what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I said to production ahead of time, let's not do this whole drink thing. And Kiki even said, can we not do this now? Because it was a whole, let's sit Kiki in a circle and reprimand her for her choices. That was the ongoing thing. Yes, it was. And that's the sidebar conversations. So when the liquor, that was the one moment I was like, can we not just have these fucking drinks and just be able to have a sober conversation amongst friends? That wasn't blowing up. That was frustration with the fact that nobody realized what was happening. And what was and I'm not going to go and say this person came to me from production and said they're forcing us to feed y'all liquor. Right, but I shouldn't have to say that. If we're friends and you see something is happening and I'm acting a little distant.
And you also, it felt like you was coddling Kiki's bullshit. in my eyes as well. It was a lot of, I was like, what, this is full, like, you know, because we know Kiki is Kiki, right?
But we also know, you just said yourself, they asked my daughter to proposition, to put her, to do something inappropriate with her husband. The first opening scene of episode 1, she's in the studio, they asked somebody to go give her a letter.
Somebody had to tell me that's what happened,
but
though.
These things were actually happening.
I love you. I hope you feel the same.
And watch your timing.
Hey, Michael, this is for you.
And just be on it. I always keep you with me.
All right, thank you.
Hold on, Miss Thing, honey, y'all look close. Look close. Get your hand off of my man now. Y'all laughing, but I'm serious.
So if people are intentionally trying to provoke her because you know she's going to act a certain way, and I'm a producer seeing this happen, and I got other black women producers coming up to me behind the scenes saying, this is what's happening, I'm not going to come to cast and say, hey y'all, especially if I don't feel like I can trust you.
The mistrust happened once I leaned in to Selena when Nicci,
yes, because that is not somebody I trusted.
But you never explained to me why, as your friend. Like, you never talked to me about it. And I thought you were being, like, I was like, I felt like you was
give back to her.
Really, Nicci?
Yes, really, Mo, really. Because
Nicci,
I didn't know
anything
you said yourself, you were already shifting because I wasn't communicating with you.
Right, but that
so
doesn't
if you're
mean
already shifting, you're going to shift back after I tell you what's going on with her? And then you and I had conversations about Selena. You and I talked about,
prior,
I told
before
you I'm
it started.
uncomfortable with our interactions.
You did.
Me and Selena were cool. So if you knew already I was uncomfortable with her, I'm not expecting you to not be friends with her. I would never give no ultimatum like, you gonna either be cool with her, maybe you were feeling like y'all had more in common.
No, nigga, we were filming. I was getting to know her.
Right, which is why I was so shocked at how easy it was for you to just assume that it was about you. It wasn't about you. It was about the fact that you were cool with somebody. That's why I said the enemy.
A friend of my enemy is an enemy of mine.
I didn't know the things that she was doing, though.
You didn't know?
I did not know that. What was coming to me was like, I don't understand. You know, we were cool. I was here for this, and that. I was like, I don't know where the breakdown happened. Of course, if she's doing shit like making calls and doing shit like that, that's not going to be shared with me. Do you understand what I'm saying? I wasn't privy to
you were privy to what was in the press. Never once did I see, that is not my friend. Like, that's not what she meant. But imagine what it feels like, because you're my girl. Like, we cool as fuck.
I wasn't sure.
And you're not
Nicci,
checking to make sure I'm okay.
I wasn't sure. I didn't.
If you called, you would have known.
Nicci, you was always all right. Anytime I spoke to you after that, I know I reached out to you, Nick. And not just about the wedding. Like, you were not featuring me, period.
Because I was in the middle of a litigation.
I did not.
And not being paid and being
I did
torn
not
apart
know all
in
of
the
that,
press.
those nuances. Now that you're telling me a lot of the things that you're saying, I get it. I didn't know, and I was talking about this years later, like, I don't know what she was dealing with. I didn't know, was she embarrassed to say this is what she did with the show? I know she was learning. I know that she was going through shit, but I didn't know to the severity.
No, because I was working so hard to protect y'all.
I did not know this. How
they
were you?
labeled me a problem and they wanted me out of it.
If you would have fucking said that, Nicci,
I was protecting my friends and they took my show, and nobody stood up for me.
Nobody knew that.
Okay.
Nobody knew that.
Did anybody ask? Y'all didn't know I was in a lawsuit? Y'all didn't know that I was getting torn apart?
But we didn't know why, right? I knew the lawsuit. I knew that you may, I didn't know if it was about you selling the show. I didn't know what.
No, I didn't sell anything. I just didn't know any better. I didn't know that I had to own it.
And I get that. But in that, you shut down. You started not trusting nobody, including me. Way before. It started with the bus. It started with the little things when it ended up always being, that's how we came up with the nickname Mills, because it was always me, Kiki, and Selena. And I'm like, where the fuck is Nicci? Where the fuck? Later for Faith.
Busted my ass trying to prevent horrible shit, like asking people to do inappropriate shit on camera.
But you know that nobody, did I ever do anything inappropriate on camera that you felt like was coaxed? You know nobody can make me do any foolishness. And
there were people who were not maybe as evolved or confident in their position as you, that were having those issues. And as a person who asked everybody to participate, as a person who imagine you bring all your friends together, you spend all your money shooting a sizzle reel,
I'm like, where the fuck are you?
The whole thing happens. They moved me out, and they created this narrative that I was trying to be toxic and destroy opportunities for people. And you guys bought into the narrative for whatever reason.
I can say that. I can admit to that, and I'm going to tell you why. Because once you shut me out, or it felt like it was this, right? Regardless of the why, it's like that's what it started looking like, and that I did buy into it. I did. I have to admit that based on the hurt feelings, the disappointment, I'm feeling like, okay, she's trying to get me to, like, what is going on? Because I don't know what the issues were. You weren't telling me because you feeling like I'm
I felt like you were sleeping with the enemy.
I understand that you were dealing with some things that were way larger, above my pay grade, quite honestly. Because you were the creator of the show, because this was your baby, I just felt like you could have trusted me.
People manipulated friendships that have been years and years and years and years just fine. And it's not just me and you, it's everybody connected to the franchise. Women in R&B music who needed each other for a lot of reasons. A lot of opportunity for us to build something incredible.
Like, what made you not trust me to talk about it before it even got to you and Selena not being, you know what I'm saying?
Because I felt like the women in the cast, you, Selena, even Angie, I felt like the priority for y'all was, how do we make this tour happen?
Because that was the big dream, right?
For me, the issue was what has happened to this franchise.
Yeah.
Where this franchise is today. I saw it going there while I was in the midst of it. I saw into the future of what was going to happen, and I was fighting to save our friendships, and I was fighting to save.
I wish you would have done that
so much more than just the opportunity for tour.
Nicci, it would have made a big difference.
I was doing it in real time, and I was very clear. It couldn't have just been me coming to you saying, Mo, they're trying to basically destroy this franchise. Like, what they're doing, maybe not trying consciously, what they're trying to turn this into is going to destroy this franchise.
Right.
If I said that to you then, you wouldn't have received it, Mo. If I said to you then, and I don't believe you would have received it.
Why?
I don't believe anybody would have received it, because I think at that point you had already felt like I was tripping.
That is the case.
And I think at that point the public already felt that I was tripping.
Listen, in real time, if you had done that in real time, it could have made a difference.
Well, I was working real hard behind the scenes without bringing it to y'all. The network tried to do it. TV One busted their ass to try to fix it, but their hands were tied.
Yeah.
And I can't bring all that to y'all, because at the same time that I'm a friend, I'm still a EP of a fucking show. And just me bringing it to you is me bringing it to you as a friend. That's not business.
Right.
As a business, I can't go tell you all of the shit that happens. And that's why I coined the phrase, the whiz, the little man behind the curtain manipulating shit.
And maybe I didn't see.
No, y'all didn't, because nobody saw it. I was in the middle of it, and because I saw the man behind the curtain, before I could be seen as someone who knew what the fuck she was talking about, I had to be seen as a destructive force in this franchise.
That's the only way it was going to work for them.
Had to be painted in a very negative, toxic way in order for the public to not like me, and for my group of friends to feel like I was trying to sabotage them. And it worked.
I didn't feel like you were trying to sabotage. I felt like unsure.
I was navigating, trying to protect y'all, trying to keep my job.
Okay.
Trying to.
And I believe you. I believe you.
And then when I reached out, like, let's try to fix it with Iyanla, because she's neutral and she's not gonna take anybody's side. She's just gonna fix the problem. And you were like, nope.
I did. I wasn't in the space.
You said no to Iyanla. You're in the backseat telling Rocky to roll out. You do the Wendy Williams thing. You keep saying I isolated you. I unplugged from that whole thing, and you were deep in it, Mo. You were deep in it. And then somebody was like, "Oh, they're talking about a spinoff from Mo and Therese," and I was like, "Oh, that might be explained."
Nobody ever talked about that with us, ever. We never talked about that.
I felt like you chose Think Factory.
Absolutely not. Where are we at? Is this fixable? Is this something that we can move forward from? Because I outside of you feeling like I abandoned you and I, turned on you, which there's still a lot more to unpack. I don't think that you see where you could appreciate my position. Definitely wasn't about another fucking show, no spinoff. It was about my friendship with you and feeling like I didn't know it. I was like, who the fuck is Nicci? What is happening? Like, and without knowing the severity of what you were dealing with. Now, beats later, I could appreciate it growing, kind of seeing things for what it is. I absolutely, before this conversation, I see things differently. I've grown, I've evolved. I know you have, with all the shit that you've gone through. I've been through some things. Life has been lifing. Is this something that we can come back from? Because when we got in the room the other day, it was like, that's when I felt like, yo, I felt like my dog. Like I never had I never had like ill will towards you. I never wanted to see you hurt. I never disparaged you. I always held you up. Brilliant, talented, brought us together. Always. Now, 2 moments that I might have maybe didn't want you to feel that way or was feeling in my feelings and could have done better, I apologize for how it made you feel. And it felt like I left you hanging out there. And if I didn't hold you up because I leaned into some things because of the way I was in my life or where I was at or how I was viewing things, I apologize because I love you. And I never stopped loving you, ever. I just didn't know. I didn't know who Nicci was at a certain point, and it didn't feel safe. That's it. That's it. So those 2 moments where you felt publicly that I didn't hold you up, I want to tell you that I apologize for that Monifah, where Monifah was then, because it's definitely something that wouldn't happen now. That definitely wouldn't happen now. And to know that you were dealing with all the things like to the level of I did not know, and you having to deal with that as well. I'm sorry, sis. I'm sorry. I apologize for that wholeheartedly.
Thank you, Mom.
Is it something that we can move forward from with this understanding and where we are as women?
Well, that's the reason why I thought it would be important for us to come together for this Urban One Honors when the opportunity came up, because I realized that there were a lot of variables that contributed to why we are where we are here. Mm-hmm. And that's the reason I needed us to have this conversation, because I needed to be honest and tell you how I felt. And I'm glad you were honest and you told me how you feel. Yeah. And there are a lot of open wounds still from this R&B Divas thing, right? But I feel like
for me, this is the wound for me.
For me too, but I mean, not to make it just about us and understanding the bigger picture of it all. For sure, like, that's what it is. It's all of us together who built this thing. For sure, and I would love to see us have an opportunity to repair if nothing happens. Like, it's not even about like,
it's not about
what the next thing
it's about
is that
it's about we need each other.
It's just life is life,
and we need each other.
I'm glad we had a chance. You know.
Can we?
Yeah.
Toast to prosperity, good health.
Gathering my life together in a bag.
Truth.
Sisterhood.
Yay!